What's up, everybody? Welcome back. We're going to continue reacting to Echo. We're on episode 4.
Yep.
This has actually been probably the strongest start to a show we've seen, I think.
I think so.
I like episodes 1, 2, and 3 equally, and I like them all.
Yeah, when we watched episode 1, we were like, what a strong start, and we were comparing it to other Marvel shows that have had particularly strong first episodes, but this one has sustained that same momentum through the 3 that we've seen so far.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
love the characters,
stuff.
love the acting. When there's fight sequences, they're well choreographed with dynamic camera work, great audio. Alakwa Cox is just like, I keep saying it over and over again, she's like charismatic without having to say anything at all, because she's most of the lines that we're getting from these characters are done in sign language. So it's this whole other sort of dynamic and flavor that we haven't had before. And
yeah, I've really never seen another show like this.
Yeah.
So when we left off, Wilson Fisk had just showed up in Oklahoma, and that's where we are. So we're about to see what
and obviously,
that
like,
is
stakes are like maximum, because people are getting shot in the face, and there, there's blood. They're not shying away from showing the violence and making it look real. And loving it so far. So guys, let's jump into episode 4. Let's have some fun, and we'll talk about it afterwards.
Let's do it.
Following contains mature content. We've noticed. Oh.
2008.
Okay. This was in the trailer.
Huh? No, we're out of those. Use your words.
Oh.
Ay, ay, ay.
This guy's already dead.
Wait here, Maya. Uncle has something he needs to do.
He's in a white suit, too. He's gonna get covered in blood.
He could not care less.
Oh. I'm gonna beat this guy within an inch of his life.
Wilson Fisk is the definition of someone you don't want to run into in an alley.
Oh.
This dude is huge. Ugh.
Oh. Okay, no, he's killing him.
Oh. Oh.
Yes, I need a new jacket. I don't want ironed.
Oh.
Already
Too late.
Don't be afraid.
Oh. Yo!
What?
No, dude. Oh.
No, he sees something he likes.
Oh my god, that was
That
great.
is dark.
That was a great scene.
That is just dark.
You're totally ready for her to like run away crying or whatever, but she runs up and kicks the guy.
To your final lesson.
Final?
Yes. Well, we'll still have our Sunday evening dinners, you and I. We are the only ones we can trust. That's your final lesson. You're dismissed.
Okay.
What does that mean? She can't hear that. She can't. Yep. Dude. Dude, what?
Why?
That is so brutal.
I mean, I understand why, because, like, she's seen behind the curtain of his operation, obviously, but, like, why did he have to get rid of her?
That was the most violent start.
This is a dark, dark
Wow.
start to this episode.
He's got goons too.
Of course he's got goons. He's Wilson Fisk.
Is he? Can we please talk?
Oh, wow.
Nice.
A gift. Yes.
Oh, cool.
I thought it was important that we could communicate with no go-between. Dead? Yes. I thought that we could have a Sunday family dinner.
What's funny is he respects her even more now that she shot him.
I'm not angry with you, Maya. Despite the little souvenir you left me with, I think there's a part of you that's happy that I'm still alive. Oh, but your face, it told another story just now when you saw me. Relief. You raised a hand to me in violence. I thought you saw my actions as heroic. Always had your back. Even then, I couldn't stand when you would get hurt. What happened to the Lafette? Became highly recommended.
That's probably some really expensive
Yeah,
wine.
no doubt.
Yeah.
Let's hope those don't go the way of the wine.
Every gesture is a power play. Every glance, every gesture, every little nuance is a power play.
You and I are the only ones we can trust. I have a proposition. You want an empire. You'll have it. All you have to do is come home with me. I'm at the Choctaw Casino. I'll be waiting for you. I hope you're on that plane. Think about it.
So is he supposed to not have an eye? Was he missing his eye, or it just looked like he was like?
It just looked a little messed up.
Like that's all that happened to him? Yeah. Almost looked like he still had his eye. Ha! Cool queen pin.
Tell me, you're not that stupid. I know you can. That's what scares me.
Hmm.
I'm sorry. I was confused. Scared.
Ooh.
Well, she's getting an ancestor vision now. Oh, are they simultaneously having a vision?
Mm-hmm.
Maya? Are you okay? Maya? Maya? Come on, Maya, stay with me.
Her visions are getting stronger as we go.
There's something going on. Chola can help you.
Everything makes sense. What you're describing, it's what I saw on the night I gave birth to your mother. Brought me to a midwife where I could be surrounded by my sisters. Your mother and I, it was a life or death ordeal. Taloa came into this world and set about lifting the pain of...
So Taloa was her mother.
Got it.
She had a gift. She was a healer. I couldn't bear to be around you. So much alike. Generations are echoing, reaching out to us at a time when we need them most. Please judge yourself.
I'm just so sad.
How'd that go?
You know what you're looking for? I'll know when I find it. Chola always says there's nothing too broke to fix. If you want it bad enough, don't throw it away. Don't get lost.
And that includes your relationships with other people.
Yes. This is the message. Wow.
Looks like she's making a warrior costume, uniform.
So Graham Greene gave her the warrior leg. She's giving her warrior garments.
I suspect you've come to kill me. Again.
Wow.
A monster. You knew what you were part of. At every turn. All the people you killed for me. Did you plead for their lives? I ask you. Who's the monster? I was there for you. I know now that I failed you. The same as my father failed me. I keep this with me. It's to remind myself of where I come from and what I had to do to get there. It's something that I want to pass on to you.
Wow.
My father felt stronger when he beat my mother until I got strong enough to stop him with that.
Fuck.
This is so dark.
Killed his own dad defending his mom with a ball peen hammer.
I killed him to be free, to move forward in my life. So enough games. Here, free yourself.
Oh.
Free me!
Like, not killing him now is going to piss him off.
You and I, Maya, we've come full circle. In the morning, come home.
Fuck, dude. They have the most complex relationship.
Yeah. That whole story just added a new dimension to Wilson Fisk as a character, too.
Yep.
The power plays involved between the two of them are just so intense.
Oh, he's such a manipulator, too.
Yeah. But she's learned. Remember what Hawkeye told her about if you don't control your anger, you can be used as a weapon?
Mm.
She's learning to control her rage.
Mm.
Yes.
man. Okay, so that was definitely the most intense episode yet.
100% the most intense episode yet.
Whoa.
You know, this is the first episode that didn't start with an ancestor story.
Yeah.
The first 3 all began with a particular female ancestor. It was
It
Chafa,
did start with the flashback, though.
Loak, and then Tuklo. It started, yes, it did. But it was the first one that didn't sort of add an ancestor to the lineage. And then the title of this episode was Taloa, and we learned that that's her mother. And it's, you know, it's all about the maternal line in her family that traces allegedly all the way back to Chafa, right? And so we got sort of some insight into her mother's line, her mother's side of the family, through Chula, who's sharing these visions with her. Although it didn't begin with an ancestor story, it began with some incredibly dark stuff.
Yeah, that was the most violent scene. And it's just the most intense, violent beginning to this episode. And then it ended up being this, like, deep, like, psychological journey into, like her relationship with her grandmother, learning about what went down with her mother and that whole experience. That she said it was exhausting having the conversation. And then like her whole relationship with Wilson Fisk and how complex it is.
Unbelievably deep. Like the level of power play between the two of them is like a tightrope.
Yeah, and he was like, and we've come full circle. It's almost like they're interwoven with one another. And
yeah,
like
it's like you want to call it cat and mouse, but who's the cat and who's the mouse? It's never clear. It's like the power hangs in the balance between the two of them, and is constantly teetering very slightly one way or the other. But just the scenes, the sustained sort of theatrical scenes between the two of them, between her and Fisk, were trips. The complete
the technology of the contact lens that can turn the speech into, that seems so just
well, and something that she said in this episode, you had called this out in an earlier episode. You had mentioned that the people around her who love her all took the trouble to learn how to sign, and
then
that
she
he
said
didn't.
She said it out loud,
and then she said
you couldn't even bother to learn how to sign.
Yeah. Which I think is really telling and really interesting.
You could tell right from episode 1 just because of that. But the fact that he has the translator, the signer executed around the corner where she can't see it, and she can't hear it. So it's like, oh man, that was
dark.
Just, the brutality just like it kept like mounting and just so much. This episode is probably like, we really got like, they painted a picture of Kingpin here where you were just like, God damn, dude. Yeah. Like, shoots him in the face, he just has like a mark.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
I can't tell if that's a failure of the makeup department or if it's just not supposed to be that bad.
If you think about Hawkeye and the way they depicted him in Hawkeye, he doesn't have like super serum, but they made it really look like he's just like impervious.
He's the human equivalent of super serum. I mean, if you remember all the stuff that Kate Bishop and her mother did to him, he was like, shot with arrows, run over by a car, I think electrocuted at one point. They did like the works to him and he walked away seemingly unscathed.
I think it's really just supposed to be a demonstration of how impervious he is, and it gives you that air of like, crap, like how are we going to deal with this guy? Like who's going to, you can't shoot him in the face. What can, like you...
He survived Daredevil and Echo at this point.
Yeah.
So
it's just one of those, and he even made like a comedic, like confident remark, like you're here to kill me again. Yeah, and it's just very like, wow, he just, it's almost like he knows he can't die. Like, even if you kill him, he'll come back.
We had in an earlier episode what seemed to be a little backstory of him, where he tells her that he also lost his father when he was a boy.
Yes, manipulation.
Manipulation. You think it's this empathetic moment that he's having with her, and then it turns out that he killed his own father.
Oh my goodness.
In defense of his mother, but still brutally with a hammer.
Yep. But then he like,
it's just, it gets more and more complex the deeper you dig.
I kind of got it felt as though he did want her to kill him with the hammer, and that he felt like as deserving of the punishment as his father did.
In a
way,
he was
I suspect
that's true, but again, it's a manipulation. It's a power play.
Yeah.
It's a demonstration of his own...
Also knowing that she's not going to do it.
Yeah, knowing that she's not going to... It's a demonstration of his own power, and that he's what are you going to do? He gives her the hammer.
Because he was calling her out. She kept saying like, no, I want you dead. And he was like, well, your face told a different story.
Right.
So it's, considering how much I've been talking about, like, wow, she says so much with her face.
Yeah.
Because she's, using sign language. So like her body language and her facial expressions are like, she says so much.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys,
overall,
wow.
Really intense episode.
Really intense episode. That might actually be the best episode, I think, of the 4. They've all been great. But wow, man. But that scene of him beating up that vendor, like, just
so dark.
Just the sound of the punching and how just like the bass in it was just like just packing meat. Like,
yeah, there's some horrifying Foley in this show.
Anyway, they really painted a picture of Kingpin as like he's a scary dude, not just physically like formidable, but also like, oh, he's a manipulator and like psychologically creepy and scary and like you don't know like. Yeah.
But at the same time, she's learning and she has called his bluff in a sense, because remember in the scene where Ronan, Hawkeye, revealed his face to her and told her that Fisk is the one who wanted her father dead, he's the one who said, if you're blinded by rage, you can be used and manipulated. You can be made into a weapon, and don't let your rage get the better of you. And she's learning. She didn't go after him with the hammer. She put the hammer down and she left. She's learning to channel, and she's still the baddest fighter out there, but she's learning to channel it and to control it. So she is actually growing in a way.
Yeah.
And she's like, that really was calling his bluff. That really was sort of beating him at his own game, in a sense.
Yeah, guys, wow. We've only got one episode left. We were talking earlier about how it really seems like seems like a perfect setup for them to have a season 2 be a possibility. Because
I hope so.
Really, like, there's no way you're going to shoot Kingpin in the face, have him come back, and then, like, they're not going to make him, like, we got to have Daredevil and Kingpin, and, like, hopefully she'll be in Daredevil's show.
Yeah,
and,
we were talking about that. The Daredevil show is coming up, so we wonder if
so far,
Maya is going to show up
4
there.
out of 5 episodes that we've seen, and it really, like, wow, great origins. I guess it's an origin story, because it's, even though we had her first in Hawkeye, like, this is her show. Mm-hmm. But they're really establishing her as a character, and also Kingpin. Outside of Netflix, like, this is really,
and this, like, the complexities that we've just been talking about give him a lot more depth and dimension than I think that character had on the Netflix show. He was really like a cartoon villain in the Netflix show. And this preserves aspects of that, like his seeming imperviousness, but it also gives him a lot of complexity, a lot of nuance.
Yeah, their relationship is so complex because there's so many different layers to it. There's so many different, like, roles that they play to each other. Like, and there's manipulation. Yes, there's power play. There's all of that, like you're saying. But there's also, like, just some genuine love.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's like they really, like, have all of the spectrum of, like,
it's a very twisted type of love, but that's the love that the two of them know. That's all they know, really.
Yeah, she did call him a monster.
They only have had each other for a really long time.
But then he turned it around on her and was like, no, who's the monster now? Yeah, and it's just, man, great episode, guys. Heavy lifting, psychologically. Like, you really have to kind of, like, I just feel like I was, like, the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when the grandmother was, like, talking about, like, getting the midwife and, like, getting her sisters and, like, the birthing of her mother being this, like, life or death situation. It was just, like, so intense, like, with all of, like, the visions and the...
Yeah.
It's like they really, really, really did a good job depicting the heaviness of that conversation. Because, like, she comes out saying she's exhausted, and it's like, yeah, that really was.
It really was a journey.
Yeah. Wow, guys. So, like, one more episode. Really excited to get into it. Really want to know what you guys thought about this episode. So please let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want to see reactions fully unedited in watch-along style, go on to patreon.com/JediJive. That's where we put them up. We'll see you in the next reaction.
Peace.